In the light of a recent video I've watched made by Farmer Cop on YouTube, I have had the idea to make a new video that's probably due after maybe a year. It's a video about cows and precisely cow pastures and how you can manage cows in Farming Simulator 2022. Now, I've been trying multiple things with cows and precisely with manure. This here, it's a cow pasture. Now there's a major difference between a cow pasture, especially in this game. There's a major difference between a cow pasture and a cow barn, like this. This is a cow barn and it will provide you with multiple things. One of those things are manure. Yes, there is no way to have manure from this pasture. Even though it's kind of not mentioned any kind of way, in all other aspects of this game, especially animals and buying cows, you are completely told every single information about these cows. There's a lot of information for these cows, but there's little to no information about cow pastures. And I don't really think that I haven't really checked. I didn't really look at a tutorial on cow pastures, or if there even is a tutorial on cow pastures from this game or from the producers of this game. But as far as I know, what I know is, and what I've been having to, what I had to do is search the internet and look at many ways I can make manure. And there's one video that I've stumbled upon that I really love, and I really suggest you would watch it. And I would suggest you watch it after you're done with this video and I've told you the punchline of this game, this video, because basically, and it's coming, it's basically that these cow pastures cannot produce manure, and I think that's the only thing that you really have to know more with the video that Farmer Cop does. And I'll link it in the description down below so you can go watch it. I'm pretty sure if you've played this game and you've wanted to know something about cows, you have seen his video. But basically, what I'm adding to this video is the fact that you cannot produce manure with cow pastures, and you can only produce it with a cow barn. This game has not been able to give you manure with this cow pasture. You absolutely need a cow farm, and the reason that is because you can actually provide those cows with straw. In a cow pasture, you cannot give your cows straw, and therefore you cannot produce manure. I believe that the cow pastures was at a time able to create manure is simply because well, it didn't necessarily need straw to create manure. There was a time before update 1.4 that you could use a barn and just simply create manure from scratch without having to bother with straw and giving your cows straw. Now, since this update, you will need straw to create manure, because some people found the flaw that you could just neglect straw with your cow barns, and you didn't need to put straw in your cow barns. People would just get manure and liquid manure for kind of free without having to bother with straw at all with their barns. So they would get liquid manure and liquid manure production for kind of free, and I think the game was like, nope, you can't do that. That makes no sense. That's not what we want. That's not what we've decided to do with this game. We need straw for the animals because this is an element in the game and we need to implement it for some reason with the cows. I think the big implementation of Farming Simulator 2022 is because you can transform something into something else, and I think that's where they decided to actually, you need to correlate straw to your cows. That old problematic of straw and manure being created without straw just made the creators say, hey, we're doing an update now, there's no problem with straw being no reason and no effect to your production. If you have more straw in your barn, it will create more manure for some reason or something like that, etc., etc. Now barns work with liquid manure. With straw, you actually need straw to create manure, or else it's not going to create anything. I believe that the reason why they also did it was because these cow pastures would create manure even if you didn't have a manure heap extension to it, and even if you didn't give your cows straw. And that's basically because you didn't need straw necessarily to create manure because of that kind of bug that was already implemented in the game. So just cows would create manure for free, and also you would get manure in your production like so. If I go here, you would get manure in your productions. You would get manure in your cow pastures from your cow pastures for free, but you also would get a lot of manure from storage. Even if you had a heap extension or whatever, it would not appear in your heap extension because maybe at some point some people weren't able to put a heap extension or a manure heap next to their field whatsoever. I don't really know the whole issue of this, and I haven't really made a big discovery, or haven't really researched for a long time on this, but this is just my hypothesis on the big problem and the reason why they decided to completely change the game from scratch with cows, and really say that people with cow pastures and a lot of cows, that's 15 cows still, cannot create manure anymore because you cannot give them straw and it's just not gonna work. Anyways, upon doing a lot more research, I'm just gonna cut short right here and go back to what I was saying basically about if you were able to use manure heap with cow pastures. According to a comment by someone, this guy here stated that he was not able to use a manure tank, which is basically manure heap extension, with his cow pasture, and he was having a hard time with it, and he was like, there's no way to be able to use it. And kind of, I think what he meant was actually, yeah, I'm not able to use it because it's actually saying the same thing that I am actually getting here, which is a manure heap needs to be placed next to a barn and not a pasture. Now he says, like, I don't know if that's a bug or if that's meant to be, or if it is going to be fixed. And actually, that, as you can see, that comment's been made a year ago. And I think 10 months ago, precisely, I think 10 months ago, the update 1.4 was released. And that's when people started to have more and more of the problem of saying, with his video of saying, hey, I can't use manure heap extension on my cow pasture because it just doesn't work, and my cow pastures are not making manure, etc., etc., etc. A lot of problems with cow pastures. Whereas the barns themselves are kind of more supported by the creators or producers of this game in a certain way. If you want to have manure, you will need to have a barn. And that's all I'm going to say. If you want to have manure, you need a barn. You can't make it with a pasture. It's sad, but it's true. And I just wanted to add this to Farmer Cop's video, because his video is just great, and I just think that we need a good video that's going to explain that you cannot make manure off of a pasture, and have someone that actually confirms this, because there's absolutely no way to this day, even if you try to use a manure heap extension, and you gave me false hopes. Anyways, thanks for watching. That's all for me. Go watch this video to learn more about how to make manure with cows, and how to take care of your cows and everything. It's a complete guide to cows that he's made, and it's very awesome. I really recommend you watching it if you want to have cows on your farm. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you that, and leave a comment down below if you have any news on this that's gonna probably continue the conversation a little further. If you do have news, I would really love to have a nice conversation in the coming months and weeks that's just gonna update a lot of people about this issue, if it's been fixed, if you can have manure heap now. If you do so, if you do put a comment down below in my video, I will actually assess this, and I will come back to the game, and I will tell I will do another update on this thing, and say like, hey, now you can use manure heap, and it's a new update, and it's kind of cool, whatever. But as of now, as of 2023, March 2023, let's say, there's no way to use a manure heap with a pasture.